The following program is a tribute dedicated to the memory of Stephen Hawking.
This is an LLD production.
Welcome to this special episode of Owlia's Opinions, the new podcast in which we take a better look into the world we love, learn new things, and debate the toughest issues the world has in store. I am your host, Armon Owlia. I am a journalism student here at Drexel University in Philadelphia, and it is time to enter the new school of thought. In the early hours of the morning on Wednesday, March 14th, the world lost the greatest mind of the late 20th and early 21st century after a 55-year battle with ALS. A man who transcended his field, a man who made a lasting impact on the way we look at the world and the way we look at each other. I am, of course, talking about the famed physicist, pop cultural icon, activist, comedian, and all-around genius, simply known as Stephen Hawking. Within hours of his passing, eulogies and tributes began to flood from all corners of the globe, with Hawking's name even trending all across the internet. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson wrote, quote, "His passing left an intellectual vacuum in his wake." And NASA stated that his theories, quote, "unlocked a universe of possibilities that we and the world are exploring." The University of Cambridge, where Hawking had been studying and teaching for the past 50 years, lowered their flags at their Gonville and Caius College to half-staff. But why? Why is the world mourning so much over the loss of a scientist? Especially when many people find the scientist so boring to begin with. Well, it's simply because Stephen Hawking was more than a scientist. He was a man who demonstrated his strength intellectually and through perseverance, even from a very young age. By all accounts, Hawking showed his genius at a very early age, developing computers that could solve logic problems. His genius gave him the nickname of Einstein amongst his peers, although he was only the middle of his class academically, through self-admitted laziness. It was also that mind that would be his greatest asset when he became clumsier within his everyday movements. It was a fall down the stairs at Oxford University and the general worsening of the clumsiness, including impaired speech, however, that would give him the diagnosis that would not only be closely associated with him, but would ultimately kill him. Hawking, at the age of 21, was diagnosed with motor neuron disease, also known as ALS, and was given 2 to 3 more years to live. Hawking fell into a Great Depression but was urged to keep strong by his girlfriend and eventual wife Jane, gaining his PhD from Cambridge in 1966. The subject? Space-time singularity and the center of black holes, and how the universe was created through the Big Bang. It would not only gain him the prestigious Adams Prize, but would also establish Hawking as a major name in the scientific community. He would continue, over the course of the next 50 years, to investigate and explain to the general public concepts that were previously relatively unknown, with most of his work dedicated to the concept of time, the development of the universe, and in particular black holes, for which he became extremely recognized for in the scientific community. However, as time went on, his condition became worse and worse, to the point where in 1985, he went through an emergency tracheotomy, completely eliminating his voice. However, he would not become completely voiceless, as technology had gotten to the point where he could use a computer to speak with a voice that may have lost the distinctive British accent, but would become completely synonymous with Professor Hawking. He would continue to teach not only at Cambridge but through television and his many books, such as A Brief History of Time. This constant education helped people understand the concepts of the universe and gave the world a better understanding of the world around us all. One of his most famous quotes is, "We are just an advanced breed of monkeys on a minor planet of a very average star, but we can understand the universe. That makes us something very special." For all of his efforts, he was offered a knighthood by the Queen in 1989, but declined it due to his dislike of titles and lack of funding to the sciences, in effect showing his moral and ethical center. However, despite his scientific prowess, it is not the reason many people know who Stephen Hawking is. Sure, people all over the world know that Hawking was a famous physicist, but his appearances on television and shows such as The Simpsons, Star Trek, and most infamously The Big Bang Theory really showed how multi-talented he was. Even with a speech synthesizer, he was still able to emit dry humor and was highly talented comedically. But in the end, why do we celebrate Hawking? Why did I spend the entire episode talking about him? Well, for many reasons. Hawking is a person that comes around once every 100 or so years. A person so unique and strong who uses their gift to benefit the world and enlighten. Hawking was truly a Renaissance man, and he is a man, through every day of his life, symbolized love, learn, and debate. That is truly remarkable. Stephen Hawking is someone I never got the chance to meet, but I would have loved to have gotten the chance to meet, and I wouldn't have done this for any other celebrity. My condolences go out to his family, both biological and his family at the University of Cambridge. Scientific community has lost one of the greatest voices and one of the greatest minds in the history of the world. And I find it perfectly fitting that his ashes will lie interred at Westminster Abbey alongside the ashes of another genius, the body of another genius in Sir Isaac Newton. I feel that it is best to close this episode with a quote from the man himself from his final speech that he gave only a few months ago.
I feel a sense of achievement that I have managed to make these contributions, despite having ALS. I have not allowed my disability to stop me doing most things. My motto is there are no boundaries.
What do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree? Either way, please go to www.lovelanddebate.com and check out all our content and respond, please. And while you're at it, don't forget to like us on Facebook by going to www.facebook.com/LoveLearnDebate. Follow us on Twitter at LoveLearnDebate. Follow us on our Instagram page at LoveLearnDebate. And even subscribe to the podcast on SoundCloud or iTunes Podcast. My thanks to Omi Larijani for the graphics and show soundtrack, Hilary Lau and Lola Heffernan for their tremendous generosity in lending their voices, and finally, special thanks to Professor Stephen Hawking for his many years of inspiration and commitment to the truth. That's it for this week. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks ready to go. Thank you guys for listening, and until next time, keep loving, keep learning, keep debating. We'll see you next time on Owlia's Opinions. Goodbye.
This has been an LLD production, recorded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.